Hi, this is Vic Tantry at Canjo.com. Understanding a business's value is very important to both shareholders and investors. In this video, I'll show you how to use a balance sheet template to analyze the value of your business. This spreadsheet was created by Dr. Vipver at Vertex42.com. Vertex42 is a wonderful online resource featuring dozens of different spreadsheets, many of which are available for free and some of which are available for a paid download. I highly recommend you check them out. The most important thing to understand about balance sheet is the fundamental equation of accounting, specifically assets minus liabilities equals net equity. So we're going to have to make adjustments in the equity component of this spreadsheet to make sure that that equation holds true, and we'll get to that eventually. But for now, let's start by inputting our major assets. So let's start with our current assets. First of all, we have cash. In 2008, we had $200,000 in cash. And in 2007, we had $100,000. So by the way, one nice thing about this spreadsheet is that we can compare and contrast two different years, and that gives us a sense as to how our assets, liabilities, and equity have changed year over year. So moving on to accounts receivable, at the end of 2008, we had $300,000 as opposed to $200,000 at the end of 2007. And with regards to inventory, we have $100,000, and at the end of 2007, it was $200,000. So you can see now in cells D11 and E11 we have total current assets, and we can now move down to the fixed assets. We don't have any long-term investments, but we do have some equipment that is worth $300,000 at the end of 2008, and we made some purchases, so it was actually less in 2007. We had only $200,000. Scrolling down a little bit, we don't have any other assets, but you can see that our total assets in cell D23 is $900,000 at the end of 2008 and $700,000 at the end of 2007. So remember these numbers, the total assets, $900,000 and $700,000, because we're going to need to make sure that these numbers balance out with the liabilities and owner's equity, which is coming up next. Scrolling down a little bit, you can see that we have first of all, current liabilities. So we have some accounts payable, $100,000 at the end of 2008, $50,000 at the end of 2007. And we don't have any short-term loans or income taxes payable, but we do have significant accrued salaries and wages, $300,000 and $200,000. And scrolling down here to long-term liabilities, we have some long-term debt of $150,000. We took out a little bit of a loan last year, so we actually only had $100,000 at the end of 2007. And going down to the owner's equity, our owner's investment was $100,000. And that's true, obviously, for both years. So now we scroll down here, and you can see that our total liabilities and owner's equity is $650,000 at the end of 2008 and $450,000 at the end of 2007. Now, remember that our assets were $900,000 and $700,000. So we're going to need to make an adjustment to the retained earnings to make these numbers work. And that adjustment is going to be actually the same for both years, $250,000. So we can see that our retained earnings has not changed, and our liabilities and owner's equity down here equals our assets up here. And that's exactly how this whole spreadsheet should be built, is to make sure that those two numbers always equal up. It's very important. So that's it really for the balance sheet. But I want to show you one last thing about the Vertex42 spreadsheet, which is that it's very printer friendly. If you click on the print preview here, you get everything condensed on one very nice page. And you also have down here some of the common financial ratios that give a good sense of financial strengths of the company. Let's actually close the window real quick here, and I'll just scroll down to that. You have the debt ratio, the current ratio, the working capital, the assets to equity ratio, which is also like leverage, and the debt to equity ratio, and you can see how those things have changed year over year and make business decisions accordingly. So thank you very much for watching, and in order to purchase this spreadsheet, recommend you click on the link to the side of this video. And for similar videos, please check out my website, www.canjo.com.